I'm Keely Eure here with Shotgun Spratling for your big game preview. Now, USC is going to take on Oregon in the Galen Center at 6 p.m. on Monday. It'll be on FS1. Shotgun, this is a big game, but not the big game USC was originally planning for, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, USC was supposed to be welcoming Stanford in and be facing their three NBA players that they have, Dejon Davis, Zaire Williams, and Oscar da Silva. Instead, they're going to be facing an Oregon team that has its own collection of potential NBA players, guys like Chris Duarte. You know, they're unique on the wing with their 6'6" frame. Eugene Omarui as well. So it's going to be different because the Pac-12 decided, hey, you know what? That schedule makes sense, but let's just change it anyways. Let's be fun, guys. Let's flip some things up. So, you know, I don't think that the USC coaching staff was very happy to find out, and probably the Oregon coaching staff that, 4 days before a game is like, hey, you got an extra game here. And for USC, they were planning for Stanford, a team that they've already played, so they have a game plan already in place. And instead, they're going to face Oregon, a team where, you get told that you're going to play this game. I believe it was on Thursday. So, they get basically a day and a half to try to prepare for that before they were going to play Arizona on Saturday. Not really much time on Sunday to play because you're going to rest your players. So you're not doing a lot of on-court stuff there. They'll go over film and do different things like that. But got to put that game plan in a day and a half basically from when the Pac-12 decides that this is the game that's going to be played, even though it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense with the other games that Oregon still has to make up with 2 games against UCLA and I believe a game against Arizona. So they Oregon could have played UCLA at the same time Stanford was playing USC. So that's why it doesn't really make much sense. Why not make up 2 games instead of just 1? But Pac-12 going to Pac-12.
Pretty much. And this is a quick turnaround for USC. They dropped one at home to Arizona, 81-72 loss. It's a quick turnaround. Does that help USC in that sense, Shotgun, or is this going to be too brief, if that makes sense?
No, I think this is, you want to, when you lose, you get a bad taste in your mouth. And the way that they lost, the way that Arizona was just tougher than them, was more physical, and kind of beat them up down low and just beat them to loose balls and stuff, I think it leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you lose that way. I think you want to come back as soon as you can, and you want to play, even the next day you want to play just so you can get that bad taste out of your mouth. And this is a great opportunity. Oregon is a team that's playing really well right now. They've won 5 straight. They're a team that is rising in the Pac-12 standings, and if they make up all their games, they could make up even more ground when USC's not playing. So it's a big game as far as the Pac-12 standings go as well. So this is a great opportunity for USC to put a stamp on their contention for that Pac-12 title this season.
Mm-hmm. And so what challenges does this Oregon team present for USC?
They're a unique team in that they lost Dante Infali earlier this year to a injury. He's a 6'11" big. They don't really have any other bigs after that. The guys that are going to be on the forward, like Eugene Omarui, he's 6'6". He's one of their forwards. So they're unique in the fact that they are 6'6" and they can do a lot of different things. They don't have a bunch of height down low, but they spread you out and force you to guard on the perimeter. So can Isaiah Mobley, Evan Mobley, can they guard those guys trying to dribble past them? That's where USC maybe has an advantage actually compared to a lot of different teams facing Oregon, that their bigs are pretty good on the perimeter guarding against smaller players. So that's something that Oregon does really well. They attack and dribble drive and then kick out. Can USC stay in front of those guys? I think they have an opportunity to do that.
In that sense, what are the main keys to getting a W on Monday for USC?
Well, just the opposite of that. If they have all small players, then beat them up down low. Attack down low, force them to find someone to guard Evan Mobley. Until they find someone that can do that, just shoot over. If he can back his way down and be strong, catch the ball down by the block, he can shoot over a defender every single time or force a double team and have open shots. So I think it starts with feeding the ball down low and beating them up down on the boards as well. But then get Omarui in foul trouble. He's fouled out of both the last 2 games. The fact that he's going to be a smaller guy guarding Isaiah and Evan Mobley, force the action at him. He's their leading scorer. Force him to get into foul trouble. We've seen that it can happen, so why not attack that guy over and over early and try to get him some early foul trouble, get him off the court. That's one of their top weapons. That's a great way to be able to get a big advantage even in the first half if he's got to sit with some foul trouble. And then knock down some shots.
Yeah.
It seems so simple, but knock down some shots. Last game, they were shooting below 30% from the three-point line until the last 2 they made in the last minute when, they're trying to catch up, and it was a little too late for him against Arizona. So make some outside shots there, and they need somebody to step up. Tajidi has been pretty consistent, is going to be a guy who's going to hit a couple for you, but they need someone else to step up and hit 2 or 3, and that's been the case. When they do that, that's when this team is really dynamic and really dangerous, but also knock down shots at the free throw line.
Yep.
So you got to hit shots at both of the lines of the game, the 3-point line and the free throw line.
In that sense, from a coaching perspective, how do you correct that, given you basically had a day in between the games?
It's not even something that's correctable for the coaches right now as far as, hey, your form's off or something. That's stuff you do in the offseason. It's mental toughness. Be mentally tough. And I don't know exactly. It's not something you can fix overnight, really, unless you're seeing some little fault in the form and you say, okay, let's make a tiny correction, some film work there, that type of thing. Otherwise, it's just, hey, you got to be more mentally tough. And we saw USC had a great chance in that Arizona game. They get a foul, they get a technical foul, they get the possession back. Isaiah Mobley, the worst free throw shooter, knocks down both of his, and that's a positive sign for them going forward. If he can knock down his free throws, because he's going to get fouled, not as much as Evan, but he's going to get fouled plenty. He's shot their second most free throws, I believe, this season. So if he can knock down some, that's big for them. But then Noah Bauman steps up, and he's their best shooter in practice and just didn't have the mental toughness to be able to knock down those. Those are the ones you got to hit. There's nobody guarding you. You're up there, and you're definitely a really good shooter in Noah Bauman. You got to step up and be strong mentally to knock down those. So that's what you got to see from this group. And it's the guards. That's what Andy Enfield said after. He said they need their guards to step up. Isaiah Mobley and Chavez Goodwin have struggled from the free throw line, but the guards have been pretty good. And if they stay consistent, then they should be fine, even if some of those big guys miss a couple.
Now, you mentioned it here and there throughout the video, but what makes this a big game, not only for USC in the Pac-12 standings, but just this could be a turning point, right, Shotgun?
Yeah, I think after you lose to Arizona, how do you respond?
Yeah.
Are you going to show that, okay, yeah, we're an NCAA tournament team and we're a team to be reckoned with in March? Or are you going to say, hey, at one little thing, we're not strong enough, we're not mentally strong enough to be able to handle that, and we'll falter? I think this team we've seen throughout the season in games, they'll get behind and they've fought their way back and they've done really well. And it starts on the defensive end for this group. And they didn't play great defense against Arizona. So can they come back defensively and play better? But mentally, how does this team respond? And this could tell us a lot about their chances to make a legit run in the NCAA tournament because, they got beat up by Arizona. But can they learn from that and take it to heart and then come out and be the more physical team against a smaller Oregon team? That would tell me a lot about this group, how they can learn from their mistakes and going forward. Otherwise, if they kind of falter, you start going, this might be a one-and-done team or a team that's done on the first weekend at least.
Wow. Well, we'll see for sure on Monday, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But that's going to wrap it up for the big game preview. For Shotgun Spratling, I'm Keely Eure. For more, check out USCfootball.com.